Joining us now is Rachel Kohl, the director of Workers' Rights Clinic, University of Michigan Law School. That's a lot to put on a business card, Rachel. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, it is. There's a lot of different titles at that school, but it's a great place to work.
You must be the busiest person in the world right now. We have an unemployment crisis going on in the state of Michigan. I'm just going to reset super quick. Then I'd like your comments. Over 1 million people collecting unemployment in the state. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Almost two.
Okay, well, two. Oh my gosh, 2 million people, and then we have a lot of people like Lauren Kinniston, who we had on the show earlier, who filed in early March and hasn't seen squat and has almost no communication in spite massive efforts. And then now we hear there's a fraud problem. We checked in with the West Bloomfield Police Department, one of our departments this morning. They say they have 20 or more working fraud cases in that one community alone. And the state of Michigan says, well, there's fraud out there. We're just going to cut off 350,000 unemployment checks around the state of Michigan. Is that the current state of affairs? Are we close to being right on all that?
Yes and no. I think you said a lot of things, and so yes, there has been a lot of potential fraudulent activity that the agency is trying to review right now, and the agency sort of in a lose-lose position here, right? Because if they don't flag everybody and people get through the cracks and these imposters, these are imposter claims. Not just like these people are using somebody else's social security number and filing benefits and it's an identity theft situation. So if the agency doesn't flag these cases, then they're going to pay out benefits to people that are fraudsters, that are imposters. And if they don't flag these cases, then they're going to pay out these benefits to them. If they do flag the cases, then people are going to not get benefits for a short period of time.
It is. You're right. It's a lose. Yeah, it's a lose-lose. I totally get that. But you said something interesting. You said they flag everybody. Do you have any information to know how the state decided of these 350,000 or so people who would get flagged, or did they just arbitrarily pick those people?
Well, so that's actually a very interesting question, Dave. So the state in 2013 implemented this program called MIDAS. That's the computer program that adjudicates all of the claims and flags people's issues, which is actually part of the same reason why so many people are held up right now. If you're seeing additional claim required or non-monetary eligibility, that's actually a MIDAS flag. And it was over-programmed to actually try to flag and deny people benefits for any possible reason. And we actually see that. We know that they over-programmed it because from 2013 to 2015, there was a false fraud scandal in Michigan where the agency issued over 60,000 determinations of fraud, which for context, in these 2 years, 60,000 determinations of fraud is more fraud than either of the last 2 decades. So that's a lot of fraud in those 2 years. And after they went back and reviewed those claims, they found that they were wrong 93% of the time. So we know that this is actually a very over-programmed, over-calibrated computer system. And it has not been subject to any public review since 2013, since it was implemented. And this is the same system that they are using today. And we know that the system is also not user-friendly. I mean, who knows what additional claim required means? Who knows what non-monetary eligibility means if you are not the programmer in that case? So I don't know what they're using to flag. I don't know because that's not public information. They haven't made it public. I've asked for that, and I haven't gotten it. And I've asked for it for years, and this is a thing that so I don't know what they're doing, and so but I do know that this is a very serious issue, and it's also a national issue. Michigan's not the only one that has these fraudulent cases. This is a very national problem.
Forgive me, and I know I'm editorializing a little bit here because I'm very emotional about this issue because I don't like to see people right now not getting their unemployment checks. 2 million people. I know, and I know you're emotional about it too, and that's good. We're going to take this emotion and get it to work for us. So that's all cool. But here, essentially, and again, I'm editorializing, but here, essentially, the state has shifted the burden of that fraud to those who are unemployed. They're saying, because you're saying 93% are wrong, 93% of their assessments from this computer program are incorrect, that there is not fraud in 90 some odd percent of the cases. So the state just says, well, I'm going to take the easy way out. I'm just going to not pay unemployment and we'll sort it out down the road. So 93% of the people who are not the result of fraud, and maybe the other 7% who didn't cause the fraud but are the victim of it, they're all paying the price right now by not getting their unemployment checks.
To be clear, that 93% number was based on the false fraud allegations that the agency issued between 2013 and 2015. That's not the number for today.
Well, could be better, could be worse. You don't
But
know.
you are right, though, that the system, the MIDAS system that was set up in 2013, has put the onus on claimants to fix their problems with the agency every single day. This is not a new issue. This is something that we, like at my clinic for years, I've been working with the Unemployment Insurance Agency since 2014. So right after they implemented this MIDAS system, the onus has been on claimants to be able to prove their eligibility at every single turn. That was the point of the way that MIDAS was programmed, which is why I think that this is a public system that's meant to adjudicate benefits, and we don't know how it works. This is something that the current UIA director has fought. Like he used to be the director of this clinic that I now direct, and he has been a claimant advocate for years. And he actually exposed the agency's false fraud 93% error rate to the public and wrote up to the Department of Labor to get it federally reviewed. And so he, of anybody, knows that the system is faulty. He just hasn't been there long enough to fix it. He's been in there just about a year.
And then the problem is worse now because we have all these claims. In the past, a citizen could call their state lawmaker, maybe their senator. They could escalate their case. The lawmaker could then go out to the UIA office and they could probably get some feedback. But right now, everything is so bogged down. Even our lawmakers can't get any. I've talked to several of them. They cannot get any feedback from the unemployment officials in the state of Michigan. So there is zero recourse for people like Lauren who have not received a penny, and she's been out of work since March, legitimately.
Well, and so the agency's issues with communication stem back to for at least the last decade. And our clinic was actually keeping record of how often we were actually able to get through to the agency. And before September of 2019, we almost never got through to the agency. We would either get that there's too many calls right now and the hang up. And if we did get through, the agency would refuse to talk to us. However, in September of 2019, the agency did do some upgrade to their phone system, and we were able to get through almost every single time until COVID hit. So this is an extraordinary amount of numbers. I know how behind that we are in our clinic. Our normal turnaround is within 48 hours to 72 hours, and we are 2 to 3 weeks behind.
Have you had any? We only got a minute or two, and we'll book you again, maybe even tomorrow. Have you had any luck? Or whenever you're available, how presumptuous of me. Have you had any luck with any people that have called your clinic, been able to resolve any of their issues at all?
Yeah, we have. So I recommend that you do call our clinic if you're still having issues. Now we are trying to prioritize people that haven't seen money since March, and working kind of backwards that way to who we actually take on. We have limited capacity to actually take on new cases because recognize that we are a clinic of me and one other attorney, an admin and some students. So we are very, very limited staff, but yeah, we have seen some success. We have, we are able to send information to the agency via fax, just like everyone else. And sometimes because we know what's going on in the system, when we see people's screenshots, we have some idea of what's going on to be able to tell the agency, hey, we think this is the issue. Can you just remove this barrier that is caused by the computer system?
Rachel, we got to go. You're a hero. You're going to be my new best friend because I just think what you're doing is fantastic. If there is no larger group of oppressed people other than maybe African Americans who are walking on the street because for obvious reasons. I can't think of any other group more oppressed in the state of Michigan than the unemployed, especially those who cannot get their checks, have done everything they should. They've paid into the system. Their employers have paid into the system. And we understand the system is overwhelmed, but it is a mess. I'm going to get you connected with Lauren if you don't mind. I'd like
absolutely.
to reconnect with you and anything I can do to help raise the awareness of this. We may need to call some other friends in the media and get their help with this because this is a serious issue. And maybe we could even do a broadcast. You think the folks at the unemployment agency would let us come to our show there live?
I don't know.
Would you join me if they did?
Sure.
All right. All right. You're riding with a hardcore now, Lauren. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you, or Lauren, Rachel. Thank you very much. I'm going to work on this, and I really appreciate your time today and fantastic work. The Workers' Rights Clinic at the University of Michigan. We're really glad to find out about you. If people want to get a hold of you because they have a similar issue, what would they do?
So I would recommend emailing us. We are faster at emailing than responding to phone calls. And please only do one of these two options. The more often that you do more, it creates havoc for our system. But the one of the options is to email us at law hyphen or dash UIC dash info. So law dash UIC dash info at umich.edu. The phone number is 734-936-2000. But again, we prefer that you email.
All right. Rachel, thank you very much. A lot of people out there having a hard time, and you're doing a great job to try to help them out. Greatly appreciated, and thank you for dealing with this crazy, over emotional radio host today. So good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too.